The main landing gear wheel well is examined for any sign of hydraulic or fuel leaks. A quick look satisfies that the Mark IV 20mm cannon pod is loaded with ammunition and revealing no obvious failings. The bomb load is completed with triplets of retarded high explosive bombs, loaded onto the wing pylons by the ordnance crew, using a special jack-up bomb trolley. Flagged safety pins are inserted before the trolley is removed. A safety wire is fitted on each bomb to prevent its arming until after it has been dropped. As it falls, the wire breaks, thus freeing the nose-mounted propeller to turn the requisite number of times and so arm the weapon. The two crew members complete the standard walk-round check and board the aircraft. With the aid of ground crew, they strap in and then put on their bone dome helmets and flame-resistant gloves. The next task is the cockpit check, achieved with the aid of a special list. All moving surfaces receive a final visual check and test as the ground crew remove flagged pins and safeties. The flags are then clearly shown to the pilot. Loaded with 12 bombs and a centerline drop tank, the F-4B of Marine Fighter Attack Squadron 115 taxis out for takeoff. Other Phantoms slated for the mission join up on the runway. Before clearing for takeoff, the crew confirmed that the outer wings have been locked down, and then depart for another tactical sortie in support of Marine Corps ground forces. The steadily increasing scope of U.S. operations in Vietnam during the later 60s meant the steady expansion and improvement of bases used by aircraft such as the Phantom, which requires fully paved runways. Here, Marines lay a temporary extension to a paved runway. Then, as now, ground operations required support at all times of the day and night and in all weather conditions. So the ability of Marine Aviation Phantom squadrons to respond rapidly was a key feature in the success of Marine Corps ground forces in Vietnam. The Phantom pilots prided themselves on the accurate delivery of a wide variety of ordnance close to the friendly forces' forward positions, and this too was of great significance in crisis situations. Constant pressure could thus be exerted on the enemy, whose precise location was radio relayed by the ground forces or a forward air controller. Successive waves of aircraft could be used to keep up the air pressure on the hostile ground forces, and also permitted different types of ordnance to be called in as dictated by the circumstances of each tactical situation. The major operator of the Phantom in Vietnam was the U.S. Air Force, starting with the F-4C land-based version of the F-4B, and then the modestly improved F-4D with enhanced ground attack capability. Although vulnerable to communist guerrilla attack, a centralized fueling system, such as this at Cam Ranh Bay, offered handy advantages for tactical operations and was therefore used in Vietnam. The Phantom's high fuel consumption militated against quick reaction units being held on the runway, but circumstances often meant that the Air Force had to do it, for only thus could maximum aerial firepower be brought to bear against the communist forces without delay. Heat fatigue to the crews waiting on the runway under the scorching tropical sun was another factor to be considered when fully manned and weaponed aircraft were kept on standby. But again, speed of reaction was the overriding factor so that the Phantoms could be scrambled quickly. After the standard preparation and takeoff, sometimes with reduced fuel to allow the maximum possible warload to be uplifted, the Air Force's Phantoms often linked up with a Boeing KC-135 tanker to top up their tanks and thus increase combat radius with a warload of up to 16,000 pounds of external stores. Here, the boomer in the tanker flies the boom into the Phantom's dorsal receptacle for fuel transfer. The Phantom was the attack aircraft par excellence in Vietnam, the type offering a good combination of warload and range with exceptional airframe strength and first-class avionics to ensure that the right target was attacked with considerable accuracy. This piece of film was shot during an attack and clearly shows the Phantom's ability to tackle heavily defended out-country targets in North Vietnam, just as effectively as less well-defended targets of opportunity in the in-country war over South Vietnam. Out-country targets included vital communication links, power plants, and strategic